Welcome back to the channel where we turn everyday coins into incredible stories and reveal the jaw-dropping values behind some of the most ordinary-looking pieces of change. Rarest coins. Today, we're talking about a coin that nearly everyone in the United States has seen, used, or even thrown into a fountain without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of these coins, a Washington quarter from 1965, has sold for as much as $1.9 million? You heard that right. A coin worth 25 cents on paper could actually be worth nearly $2 million in the right circumstances. Let's dive into how that's possible and what makes the 1965 Washington quarter one of the most intriguing coins in American history. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It featured his bust on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. For decades, these quarters were made of 90% silver. But then came a major change, a shift that completely altered the course of U.S. coinage. In 1965, due to the rising price of silver and widespread hoarding of coins, the U.S. Mint made a bold decision. They removed silver from dimes and quarters entirely. Instead, the coins would now be struck on a copper-nickel-clad planchet. That means they had a core of copper with a layer of nickel on the outside. This change was made to keep coins in circulation and reduce production costs. So every quarter minted from 1965 onward was supposed to be made with this new metal composition. Now here's where things get interesting. Even though the official switch to clad coins was made in 1965, a small number of quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. These are what collectors call transitional errors, and they are incredibly rare. It's believed that only a handful of 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on silver blanks. One of these rare coins, in nearly perfect condition, was authenticated, graded, and eventually sold for a staggering $1.9 million. That's the kind of money that changes lives. What makes that specific coin so valuable? It comes down to three major factors: the error, the rarity, and the condition. First, the minting error. A silver planchet should not have been used in 1965, but somehow, a few slipped through the cracks. This makes the coin an anomaly, a mistake that survived, entered circulation, and lived to tell the tale. Second, the rarity. There are only a few confirmed examples known to exist. That kind of scarcity drives prices way up, especially among elite collectors. And third, the condition. The million-dollar version of the 1965 quarter was graded at an extremely high level, likely MS-67 or higher, making it not just rare, but nearly flawless. Now you're probably wondering how to tell if your 1965 quarter is the rare silver version. Here's what you should look for. First, check the edge of the coin. A standard clad quarter will show a copper-colored stripe along the edge due to the copper core, but a silver quarter will appear solid gray or white all the way through. No copper line. That's your first clue. Second, weigh the coin. A regular copper-nickel 1965 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. But a silver quarter will weigh more, approximately 6.25 grams. That small difference can make a big difference in value. You'll need a digital scale that measures to the hundredth of a gram for accuracy. Third, listen carefully. Silver coins actually have a different sound than clad coins. When dropped gently on a hard surface, silver coins make a distinct, high-pitched ring, while clad coins produce a duller thud. It might sound unscientific, but experienced collectors often use this simple sound test as their first check. If you find a 1965 quarter that looks and feels different, do not clean it. Cleaning coins can ruin their surface and dramatically reduce their value. Instead, store it safely in a soft coin holder and have it professionally evaluated. The best way to confirm its authenticity and value is to send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify the coin's composition, check for errors, and assign an official grade. Even if your 1965 quarter isn't the million-dollar version, don't throw it away. Quarters from this transitional year are still highly collectible, especially if they're in uncirculated condition. High-grade 1965 quarters can sell for $50 to $200 or more, and those with unique errors or toning can fetch even higher prices at auction. Now think about this. This quarter is not centuries old. It wasn't made of gold. It wasn't limited to just a few hundred. It was mass-produced and circulated just like any other coin. And yet, because of a simple but rare mistake at the mint, a tiny handful of these coins are now worth more than most people will make in a year or even a lifetime. That's the magic of coin collecting. You never know what you're holding until you look a little closer. So here's your takeaway. Always check your change. Always look at the edges of your quarters, especially if they're from the 1960s. If you come across a 1965 quarter with no copper stripe, a slightly heavier weight, and a brighter, silvery appearance, you might be staring at a treasure worth up to $1.90 million. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable finds, and the hidden history in your pocket change, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We've got more amazing stories just like this coming your way. Until next time, keep looking, keep learning, and maybe the next $1 million coin is already in your hand. Let me know if you want this adapted for a voiceover, broken into shorter clips for YouTube Shorts, or paired with visual suggestions. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover some of the rarest coins in American history and reveal just how much your everyday change could be worth, rarest coins. Today, we're diving into a legendary piece of United States coinage that has shocked collectors with its unbelievable value. I'm talking about the 1967 Washington quarter, a coin that was minted during a time of major change in American currency and one that could be worth as much as $1.8 million today. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1967 quarter has been valued at over $1 million due to a combination of extreme rarity, historical context, and a mint error that makes it one of the most sought-after modern coins in the world. Let's begin with the backstory. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It quickly became a permanent part of American currency and has been minted every year since. By the time 1967 rolled around, the design had stayed largely the same, with George Washington's profile on the front and the iconic bald eagle on the reverse. But the real story with the 1967 quarter isn't about the design. It's about the metal. You see, just a few years earlier, in 1965, the U.S. Mint made a dramatic shift. Due to rising silver prices, quarters were no longer made from 90% silver. Instead, the Mint started producing them using a copper-nickel clad composition. That means if you have a quarter from before 1965, it likely has silver in it. But from 1965 onward, quarters were supposed to be made entirely of base metals, no silver at all. And here's where things get really interesting. In 1967, the Mint was under pressure. The country was still adjusting to the new clad coinage. Silver coins were disappearing from circulation because people were hoarding them. To keep up with demand, the Mint stopped producing proof sets and uncirculated mint sets for collectors. Instead, they issued special mint sets. These coins were better than regular circulation coins, but not quite proofs. During this period, a few mistakes slipped through. And one of those mistakes led to the creation of a coin so rare, so mysterious, that collectors have placed its value as high as $1.8 million. So what exactly makes this particular 1967 quarter so valuable? It's believed to be a rare transitional error, possibly struck on a leftover silver planchet, the blank used for coins, or even on a planchet intended for another denomination or country. That means while almost all 1967 quarters were made with the new copper-nickel-clad formula, this one rare coin was struck on a silver blank, making it a serious outlier. But it doesn't stop there. In addition to the wrong planchet, the coin also appears to have a double die error, where the coin's details, such as the date, the word liberty, or I in God we trust, appear to be stamped twice. This creates a visible doubling effect that collectors go crazy for. And finally, the coin was discovered in almost flawless condition, graded by experts as being in near-perfect mint state condition. A rare error, a transitional year, and top-tier condition. That's the trifecta. That's what turned an everyday coin into a $1 million masterpiece. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for. How can you tell if your 1967 Washington quarter is one of these rare examples? First, look at the edges of the coin. Regular clad quarters have a visible copper strip along the edge, a result of their layered metal composition. If your 1967 quarter has no copper edge and appears to be solid silver all the way through, that's a major sign. Next, weigh the coin. A standard 1967 clad quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. But a silver quarter would weigh slightly more, around 6.25 grams. That small difference can mean a huge difference in value. Also, use a magnifying glass to examine the details. Look at the date. Look for any doubling in the numbers or letters. Check the rim, check the lettering, and see if anything looks off. If something seems strange, do not clean or tamper with the coin. Cleaning a rare coin can actually decrease its value significantly. Instead, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate and grade your coin properly. Even if your coin isn't the $1,000,000 version, many 1967 quarters from special mint sets or with unusual toning or minor errors can still be worth more than face value. Some in high mint state condition have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. But the true star is that one extraordinary error coin, the 1967 quarter struck on a silver planchet, in near-perfect condition, with doubling. That's been valued at up to $1.8 million by serious collectors and rare coin dealers. So what's the takeaway here? Check your change. Dig through that old coin jar. Look in the back of drawers, inside old wallets, and especially in inherited coin collections. The most valuable coins aren't always the ones from the 1800s. Sometimes, it's a simple quarter from the 60s that carries an incredible story and a staggering price tag. The 1967 Washington quarter is a perfect example of how history, errors, and rarity can come together to create a collector's dream. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories about rare coins and valuable discoveries, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a find. We've got more incredible coin stories coming your way. Until next time, keep collecting, keep looking, and maybe, just maybe, your next coin could be worth $1,000,000. Let me know if you'd like visuals, a version for voiceover, or shorter edits for YouTube Shorts or TikTok-style clips. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the most valuable and mysterious coins ever minted by the United States. Rarest coins. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe because we dig deep into the coin world and reveal the stories behind pocket change that could be worth a fortune. Today's spotlight is on the 1981 D Washington quarter. You might think a coin from 1981 isn't old enough or rare enough to be worth anything more than 25 cents, but you'd be wrong. One ultra-rare error version of this quarter has caught the attention of collectors and auction houses alike and has been valued at a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yes, a coin that could have passed through your hands, dropped into a coin jar, or sat in an old wallet for years could be one of the rarest coins in modern U.S. history. So what makes the 1981 D Washington quarter so valuable, and what should you be looking for in your own collection? Let's break it all down. First, let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a standard part of U.S. currency since 1932. It was introduced to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, and over the decades, it has remained a constant in pockets, purses, and piggy banks across the country. In 1981, the quarter still carried the original design, featuring Washington's profile on the front and a bald eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. It was made from the typical copper-nickel-clad composition used since 1965, no silver, just base metals. The 1981 D quarter was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark on the right side of Washington's ponytail. That year, the Denver Mint struck over 575 million quarters. So how can a coin that was minted in the hundreds of millions be worth over $1 million? The answer lies in a tiny, almost undetectable mistake, a rare mint error that completely changes everything. Among those hundreds of millions of 1981 D quarters, experts believe only one or possibly two were struck on a silver planchet. That's right. At a time when silver had been removed from regular coinage for over 15 years, somehow, a silver blank ended up in the Denver Mint and was used to strike a quarter. This is what collectors call a transitional error or off-metal error. It's extremely rare, and it should never have happened. But it did. And now, that one mistake could be worth over $1.5 million. Let's talk about what makes this specific coin so valuable. First, you've got the error, being struck on a silver planchet instead of the copper-nickel-clad metal it was supposed to be. Second, the condition. The coin was found in almost perfect uncirculated condition, professionally graded as MS-68 by a leading certification company. That's an incredibly high grade for a circulation-era coin. And third, the rarity. There is only one known example like it. That kind of one-of-a-kind status drives collector demand through the roof. So, how do you know if you might have one of these rare 1981 D quarters? First, check the edge of the coin. A typical clad quarter will show a copper stripe running around the edge because of its layered composition. If your quarter appears silver all the way through, you might have something special. Second, weigh the coin. A normal 1981 D quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. A silver quarter will weigh closer to 6.25 grams. That slight difference is huge in the coin world. Next, examine the mint mark. Make sure the coin has a clear D mint mark on the front, to the right of Washington's hair ribbon. Then, inspect the coin for any unusual features like doubling in the text or numbers, misaligned printing, or differences in thickness. These could be signs of additional errors that increase the coin's value even more. Now, if you think you've found something unusual, do not try to clean or polish the coin. That will immediately reduce its value. Instead, place it in a soft coin holder and take it to a certified numismatist or submit it directly to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. These services will professionally authenticate and grade your coin, and if it's confirmed to be a rare mint error, you could be sitting on a 6 or 7-figure treasure, even if your 1981 D quarter isn't the million-dollar variety. Don't overlook its potential. Coins from this year that are in uncirculated or high mint state condition, especially from original mint sets, can still be worth more than face value. Some have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their grade and condition. Let's take a step back and think about this for a moment. The year 1981 wasn't that long ago. Many of us were alive then. Many of us have coins from that decade sitting around. And yet, among all those coins, there's a possibility that one of them is worth more than a luxury car or even a small house. That's the power of coin collecting. It's about more than just history. It's about hidden value, unexpected discoveries, and the thrill of finding something truly unique. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the message is clear. Always check your change. Look at your old coins. Go through that box in the attic or the coin jar on your dresser. The 1981 D Washington quarter is proof that even the most ordinary-looking coin can have an extraordinary story and an unbelievable value. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos about rare coins and valuable finds. We've got more incredible stories coming your way. Until next time, keep looking, keep learning, and keep collecting. Your next million-dollar coin could be hiding in plain sight. Let me know if you'd like visual suggestions, a short-form version, or a follow-up video idea. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're into coins, collectibles, or hidden treasures in your pocket change, today's video is going to blow your mind. We're talking about the 1988 D Washington quarter, a seemingly ordinary coin that some collectors have valued at over $1.3 million. That's right, over $1 million for a quarter. And no, this isn't clickbait. There are real reasons behind that jaw-dropping price tag, and I'm going to explain it all in detail before we dive into the mystery and money behind the 1988 D quarter. Let's talk a bit about the history of the Washington quarter itself. First minted in 1932, the Washington quarter was introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design features Washington's profile on the obverse, or front, and an eagle on the reverse. This iconic design lasted until the state quarters program began in 1999. Now fast forward to 1988. That year, millions of Washington quarters were produced by the U.S. Mint. Specifically, over 596 million quarters came out of the Denver Mint, which is represented by the small D mint mark on the coin. So, you might be wondering, how could a coin minted in the hundreds of millions possibly be worth over $1 million? Great question. The answer lies in rarity, errors, and collector demand. Among those hundreds of millions of coins, a few rare errors slipped through. These error coins are what collectors and experts are hunting for. One of those ultra-rare error quarters from 1988, with the D mint mark, has become legendary in the numismatic world and is believed to be worth up to $1.3 million. So what makes this specific 1988 D quarter so special? It all comes down to a rare minting error known as a transitional error. That means the coin may have features that were meant for a different year or a different metal composition. For example, some experts speculate that this ultra-valuable 1988 D quarter may have been struck on a planchet meant for another coin altogether, like a 1983 quarter or even a foreign coin blank. Others believe the quarter could have unique design elements that accidentally made it onto a few coins before the mistake was caught by the mint. There are also reports of misaligned dies, double dies, and off-center strikes on certain 1988 D quarters that make them extremely valuable. But the real golden ticket is that one quarter that appears to be one of a kind, with a combination of errors never seen before. It's believed to have an off-metal strike, possibly struck on a planchet not meant for quarters, and possibly with a misprint in the lettering or date. It's so rare that it's been the subject of national numismatic attention. Now you might be wondering, how do you know if you have one of these special quarters? First, take out your 1988 quarters and flip them over. Look for the D mint mark under the eagle's tail feathers. Then, examine the coin carefully. Look for anything unusual. Is the strike off center? Are the letters or numbers doubled? Does the metal look different compared to a regular quarter? Is the coin thinner or lighter than usual? If you spot anything strange, don't rush to the pawn shop. Instead, take your coin to a professional coin grader or numismatic expert. Services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin. A verified high-grade error coin from 1988 with a unique strike or composition could easily fetch thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you happen to have the one special coin that experts believe exists in extremely limited quantity, then yes, it could be worth over $1 million. Let's not forget, collectors are always looking for the next big find. The coin market is driven by rarity, condition, and demand. And when all three of those factors align, the price can skyrocket. The $1.3 million 1988 D quarter represents the perfect storm of those elements. It's incredibly rare, possibly unique, and collectors are willing to pay big money to own a piece of American minting history. To sum it up, the 1988 D Washington quarter is more than just pocket change. For most of us, it's worth 25 cents. But for a lucky few who stumble upon a rare error coin, it could be the find of a lifetime. So check your change, dig through your drawers, and go through those old coin jars. You never know what hidden treasures you might discover. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into rare coins and collectibles, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big discovery. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck with your coin collection. Let me know if you'd like a shortened version, voiceover style, or visual suggestions for this video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we explore the hidden treasures you could be holding right in your rarest coins. Today's episode takes us into the world of one of the most overlooked but potentially valuable coins in circulation. We're talking about the 1995 D Washington quarter. On the surface, it looks like just another coin you'd toss into a vending machine or drop in your cup holder. But one rare version of this coin has stunned collectors and is now valued at up to $1.2 million. That's right. A quarter minute in 1995 in Denver could be worth more than a Lamborghini, a house, or even a college education. So what makes this coin so special? Let's break it all down. First, let's talk about the history. The Washington quarter has been a fixture of American coinage since 1932. Originally created to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the quarter has featured his profile on the obverse side ever since. The reverse side, until 1998, showed the powerful image of an eagle with wings spread. The coin's classic design has made it one of the most widely recognized and collected denominations in U.S. history. Now fast forward to 1995. The United States Mint was still producing the traditional Washington quarter before switching to the state quarters program that would begin in 1999. That year, the Denver Mint struck over 1.1 billion Washington quarters with the D Mint mark. With such a massive mintage, most of these coins are worth face value. You probably have a few in your house right now. But like with many things in the world of numismatics, it's not about how many were made, it's about the mistakes that slipped through. Enter the rare 1995 D Washington quarter error coin. This is no ordinary quarter. It is believed to have been struck on the wrong planchet, possibly a planchet meant for a different denomination, like a dime or even a foreign coin. That means the weight, the metal composition, and even the edge of the coin are different from what they should be. On top of that, there's a known double die variety from 1995, the more common on pennies, that sparked interest among collectors who started looking at quarters more closely. Combine these errors with an extremely high-grade condition, meaning the coin is almost flawless, And now you've got something truly special. Let's break down why this coin is worth up to $1.2 million. First, it's a confirmed mint error, struck on an incorrect planchet. That alone makes it highly collectible. Second, it was discovered in a near-perfect state. We're talking about a coin graded at MS68 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC. A coin in that condition is almost unheard of for circulation-era quarters. And third, it's possibly the only one of its kind. That level of rarity sends collectors into a frenzy and drives auction prices through the roof. So what should you be looking for? If you have a 1995 D quarter, flip it over and examine every detail. First, confirm the D mint mark on the obverse side. Then check the edges. A regular quarter should have a reeded or grooved edge, and you should see the copper core along the edge from the clad composition. If your coin looks silver all the way through, that's unusual. Next, weigh the coin. A normal quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin is lighter or heavier than that, especially if it weighs around 2.5 grams like a dime, it could be a major error coin. Now grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and inspect the lettering and numbers. Look closely at the word Liberty, the date 1995, and the phrase "In God We Trust." If anything appears doubled, distorted, or unusually sharp or faint, that could be a sign of a double die error. Also, examine the overall strike of the coin. If anything looks off-center, weakly struck, or misaligned, that's worth noting. If you find anything strange, don't clean the coin. That could ruin its value. Instead, take it to a certified coin dealer or send it directly to a grading service. PCGS and NGC are two of the most trusted grading services in the world. They'll confirm the authenticity, check for errors, assign a grade, and seal your coin in a secure slab that protects its value, even if your 1995 D quarter doesn't hit the $1 million mark. High-grade coins from that year still sell for impressive amounts. Some have sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars, especially when they come from original mint sets or were stored carefully for decades. The real jackpot, though, is that ultra-rare error coin with the wrong planchet and perfect grade. That's the one that could change your life. Let's put it in perspective. This is a coin that was made just a few decades ago. It's not ancient. It's not gold or silver. It's a regular quarter, struck during your lifetime, and possibly still floating around in circulation. That's what makes the world of coin collecting so exciting. The most valuable treasures aren't always locked away in museums. Sometimes they're hiding in your own pocket. So the next time you get change at the grocery store, or you're rolling coins to take to the bank, take an extra second to check the dates and mint marks. Look at the details. You never know. You might just find a 1995 D Washington quarter worth over $1 million. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story like this. We've got more rare coin features, collecting tips, and value breakdowns coming your way. Until next time, keep checking your change and happy collecting. Let me know if you'd like a visual storyboard, a voiceover-friendly version, or a short-form version for reels or shorts. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the stories, secrets, and surprising values hiding in your pocket change. Today, we're going deep into a coin that looks like it's worth just 25 cents. But in the world of rare coins, it has stunned collectors by selling for as much as $1.1 million. That's right. This is the story of the 1990 P. Washington quarter. And if you think that's just another old coin from the 90s, think again. What makes this coin valuable isn't just its age, but the incredible mint error that turned it into a once-in-a-lifetime collector's dream. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been an American staple since 1932. It was first issued to honor George Washington's 200th birthday, and it has remained in circulation ever since. The front of the coin features Washington's profile, and until 1998, the reverse showed the familiar eagle with wings outstretched. Then, in 1999, the state quarters program began and changed the look of the quarter forever. But back in 1990, the design was still classic, still traditional, and the coins looked like any other from the previous decades. Now in 1990, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of Washington quarters. The P Mint mark, which stands for the Philadelphia Mint, is located on the obverse, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. That year, over 613 million quarters came out of the Philadelphia Mint. So how could a coin so common be worth over $1 million? The answer lies in an extraordinary minting error. One particular 1990 P. Washington quarter is believed to have been struck on the wrong planchet. Instead of being minted on a standard copper-nickel quarter blank, this rare coin may have been struck on a silver or foreign planchet by mistake. That simple but massive error instantly separates this coin from the rest. Add in the possibility of other errors, such as a double die or a misaligned die strike, and suddenly you have a coin that breaks all expectations. Let's get into the details. First, a normal quarter from 1990 should weigh about 5.67 grams and have a copper core with a nickel outer layer. But this rare 1990 P specimen weighed slightly less and had an unusual metallic tone. Experts believe it was struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, or possibly for a foreign coin. This kind of mint error is called an off-metal strike, and when it happens, it usually results in a small number of coins being affected. In this case, only one example is confirmed to exist in such a high grade and with such an unusual error. Now combine that with the coin's condition. The $1 million 1990 P quarter was discovered in nearly perfect shape, what collectors refer to as mint state. It was professionally graded by a top-tier certification service and received a grade of MS68, which is incredibly rare for a coin that circulated over 30 years ago. The combination of an extreme mint error and near-flawless condition pushed its value sky-high, eventually reaching a staggering $1.1 million at a private auction. So, how can you tell if you might have a rare 1990 P Washington quarter? First, flip the coin over and locate the P mint mark on the obverse. Then check the weight. Use a digital scale that measures to the hundredth of a gram. If your quarter weighs noticeably more or less than 5.67 grams, that's a red flag. Next, examine the surface and strike details. Look for anything unusual like a different color, off-center strike, doubling in the letters or numbers, or even a weak or missing rim. Any of these can be signs of a valuable mint error. You should also check the edges of the coin. A regular quarter has a reeded edge, those tiny grooves around the rim. If your coin has a smooth edge, partial reeding, or looks off in any way, don't ignore it. It might just be one of the rarest coins in your collection. Now, here's the big question. What do you do if you think you found something special? The answer is simple. Don't clean the coin. Don't try to polish it or mess with it. Instead, submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will authenticate it, examine it for known mint errors, assign a grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof case. A coin certified by a reputable grading company is the only way to unlock its full market value. And if your 1990 P Washington quarter happens to have the same rare off-metal error and the right grade, you could be looking at a coin worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or in the case of that one record-breaking piece, over $1 million. So what's the big takeaway here? Just because a coin is modern doesn't mean it's not valuable. The 1990 P Washington quarter is proof that mint errors can happen in any year and that some of those errors can be worth an absolute fortune. It also reminds us that we should always check our change. That small stack of coins on your kitchen counter could be hiding something truly rare. And if you're a collector or just getting started in the hobby, the thrill of finding one of these rare coins is what keeps it exciting. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and hidden treasures, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more rare coin breakdowns and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big discovery. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and who knows, the next $1 million coin might already be in your pocket. Let me know if you want this adapted for voiceover delivery, a shorter version for YouTube Shorts, or suggestions for visual cutaways and close-up shots during the video. Washington quarter, explaining its history, the reason behind its unexpected high value, and how a rare version of this coin has reportedly sold for $1.4 million. This script is designed for full-length YouTube content, ideal for narration or on-camera delivery, and crafted to hold the viewer's attention from beginning to rarest coins. Welcome back to the channel where everyday coins turn into extraordinary discoveries. Today's episode dives into a coin that millions of Americans have handled, overlooked, and probably tossed into coin jars without a second thought. We're talking about the 1979 D Washington quarter, a coin that looks completely ordinary but holds an astonishing secret. One rare version of this quarter has been valued at an incredible $1.4 million. That's right. A coin worth just 25 cents on the surface could actually be worth more than a Ferrari, more than a down payment on a mansion, and even more than some people earn in a lifetime. So what makes this 1979 D quarter so special? Why is one specific coin from this year turning heads in the numismatic world and causing collectors to search through rolls of change with renewed hope? Let's take a look at the history, the minting process, and the rare era that turned this coin into a million-dollar mystery. Let's start with some background. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design has become one of the most iconic in U.S. coinage history, featuring Washington's profile on the front and a bald eagle with outstretched wings on the back. For decades, this design remained largely unchanged. But in 1979, the U.S. Mint was entering a new era. Technology was advancing, coin production was evolving, and subtle mistakes began slipping into the system. Now let's talk about the 1979 D quarter specifically. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, which struck over 489 million Washington quarters that year. With nearly 500 million coins produced, it's easy to assume that 1979 D quarters are too common to be valuable. But as always in the world of coin collecting, the devil is in the details. One particular 1979 D quarter became famous because of a dramatic mint error. This coin was accidentally struck on a silver planchet, a blank mint for earlier quarters before 1965, when silver was still used. The mistake likely occurred when leftover silver blanks, which should have been removed from the production line years earlier, were accidentally fed into the quarter presses. What came out was a 1979 D quarter that looked normal at first glance but was actually made of 90% silver. That alone makes it an extremely rare transitional error. But the story doesn't stop there. This specific silver 1979 D quarter was found in nearly flawless condition, what experts call mint state, with a grade of MS68 or higher. Combine a wrong planchet error with such a pristine surface and razor-sharp details, and now you've got a coin that serious collectors dream of finding. Only 1 or 2 examples of this error are known to exist, and when one of them went to auction, it sold for a mind-blowing $1.40 million. So how can you tell if your 1979 D quarter might be worth a fortune? Here's what to look for. First, check the edge of the coin. A normal 1979 D quarter will show a copper-colored stripe on the edge due to the copper-nickel clad layers. But if your quarter looks silver all the way around, with no copper line, that's the first major sign you may have something rare. Next, weigh the coin. A standard clad quarter weighs around 5.67 grams, but a silver quarter will weigh closer to 6.25 grams. That's a small difference, but one that can be measured with a digital jewelry scale. If your 1979 D quarter is heavier than usual, that's another red flag. Then there's the sound test. When gently dropped on a hard surface, silver coins produce a distinct, higher-pitched ringing sound, while clad coins make a duller, shorter thud. It's not an exact science, but for experienced collectors, it's often a quick first test. Also, look for anything unusual in the strike. Are the letters or numbers doubled? Is the rim misaligned? Is the coin thinner or thicker than normal? Even small imperfections in minting can drastically increase value. If you find something that looks unusual, stop right there. Do not clean the coin. Do not attempt to alter it or try to shine it up. Cleaning a rare coin can destroy its natural surface and decrease its value significantly. Instead, place the coin in a soft plastic holder and get it authenticated by a professional grading service. Companies like PCGS and NGC specialize in verifying mint errors and assigning condition grades that help determine market value. Even if you don't find the million-dollar version, 1979 D quarters in exceptional condition can still bring in impressive amounts. Coins graded MS65 or higher regularly sell for $20 to $50, and those with unique toning, sharp detail, or minor errors can go for hundreds. But that one ultra-rare silver error, in high grade, has shattered expectations, reaching $1.4 million in a private sale. So what does this mean for you? It means that even in a coin as common as the 1979 D quarter, there's still a chance to find something extraordinary. It means that mistakes made during the minting process can turn a regular piece of pocket change into a collector's holy grail. And most importantly, it means the next big discovery could be sitting unnoticed in your kitchen drawer, in an old piggy bank, or in that jar of coins you haven't looked at in years. That's why coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's a treasure hunt. It's about knowing what to look for and paying attention to the details. Because hidden among billions of coins are the few that tell a different story, the few that were never meant to exist, but somehow slipped through. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with fellow coin enthusiasts. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next video, where we uncover more valuable coins and the incredible stories behind them. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and remember, your next coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Let me know if you'd like a version tailored for voiceover narration or split into segments for shorts or TikTok-style content.